Hello, besties. Welcome to Martinez with Eddie, your destination for all things Bravo. Join me as we spill the tea, dissect the drama, and uncork the juiciest gossip from your favorite reality TV shows. Tonight we'll be talking about Summer House and Real Housewife Ultimate Girls Trip Episode 2. I'm telling you, all this drama that is happening in the Bravo universe has been keeping me real busy. Um, yeah, so trust me, you don't want to miss also the news from the Real Housewife of Beverly Hills cast. We got so many faces coming back, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna get all the tea that I got for you, and trust me, you're gonna love it. We're gonna be talking about also about the trailer of New Jersey. We just got the mid-season trailer. We got it yesterday, and it seems like the drama not only happens down the shore but also overseas in Ireland. But let's start with the Hamptons. We finally see Paige and Craig talking about moving in together, and it seems like Paige is not 100% sold in the idea of moving to Charleston because her whole entire life is in New York City. I mean, I can completely understand where Paige is coming from. I have moved to a whole different state in the past for somebody, and trust me, even though the long distance relationship was going amazing, and by the time that I moved to this whole different state, actually across the country, literally on the other side of the coast, I'm on the East Coast, and I moved to I'm not gonna say where because I don't want to give anything away, but after 6 months of living together, I realized that it was not worth it for me to have made that change. So I kind of see where Paige is coming from because even though Craig and Paige seem to be a very stable relationship, sometimes when you decide to make such a big sacrifice, you tend to like resent the other side of the partnership. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy to pack your life from an busy ass city like New York City, where everything is like right there, to move to a smaller, slow pace kind of place. I mean, I love Charleston. I really do. I got the opportunity to go last month, and I will move there in a heartbeat. But I can see how somebody who's into fashion, into entertainment, and has such a city lifestyle can be a little bit afraid of making that commitment, especially when it seems like their minds right now are in a happy place. You know, it seems like this long distance relationship is working. It seems like everything around it is just fine the way it is. So making a huge change can be triggering sometimes. I do like Craig and Paige as a couple. I have watched Craig on Southern Charm for many years. I always felt like just like every other guy on Southern Charm, he's a big red flag, like a walking red flag when it comes to relationships. But out of all the cast, he seems to be always the more wanting to be in a serious relationship. So I'm happy that he found a person who wants that too, and I'm happy that it seems to be working. They make a really beautiful couple. Craig is a very, very handsome man. Paige is a beautiful girl. So I can see how everything seems, hunky dory in between them two. I don't know if Paige will fit in the Charleston society, because I'm just basing this on watching Southern Charm. And I actually, funny thing, now we're talking about it, I've been rewatching Southern Charm to prepare myself for season 9 that is coming out on during the fall. Southern Charm wrapped last week and it's coming out in the fall. So I've been binge watching the old episodes. I started from season 1 because there's nothing else to watch. And you kind of forget how crazy Southern Charm has been all these years and how problematic can be at times. And even though I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to get into politics or anything like that. It's not the type. This is not the type of podcast. That's not what I'm trying to talk about. Because at the same time, I don't think I'm the right person to be talking about that stuff. I also appreciate the fact that it also has made huge changes along, the years. Like all this time, it never stayed like on one side of the spectrum. It went from like guys getting drunk, slowly going into girl power, then into talking about social issues in the last few seasons, especially during the COVID pandemic season. So I appreciate about Southern Charm. I know that this upcoming season, I don't want to spill too much tea on it, but it's coming back to its roots. It's gonna be messy. It's gonna be crazy. So if you are a Southern Charm fan, you are in for a treat. That's all I'm gonna say about it. The cast, it's casting, and the drama is dramatin. I don't know if that's a word. Dramin. I'm just trying to make up some word here, but just yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Also on Summer House, we get to see Amanda sit down with Lindsay, finally have this conversation. There was a long overdue, and it was quite exhausting to watch, you guys. I was cringing at half of the conversation because it seems like even though I don't get the point of being mad at each other for such a long time for very trivial things. Like it was not that deep, and the fact that Lindsay was mad at Amanda, she was mad at Amanda just because she said on the last reunion that she was moving too fast with Craig, and I side with that part though. I don't think Amanda should be apologizing for having that opinion just because that's how she understand relationship. She even said it. She took a while to move in with Kyle, to talk about buying a house or buying property. She even said like even when they were engaged, the type of conversation, it was serious. So she saw what Lindsay and Craig were doing, and she felt like it was a little too fast, too furious. I agree with that, but Lindsay felt in some kind of way. So it seems like in a very surface level, they found a middle ground, and thank God, because summer should be fun. Summer should be fun. I'm sorry if I'm clapping too loud. I don't want to make your eardrum explode, but a clap was needed when you say summer should be fun. They were having a dinner in the Hamptons. And the person in charge of the dinner this time was Danielle and her boyfriend, who is a chef. And obviously, I mean, they pull all the stunts with this dinner because that tablescape was beautiful. The dinner looked so delicious. I was like, my mouth was so watering just by watching them eat. And it makes me like miss summer, and I'm excited it's almost here. Like, you guys don't understand. Like, if you don't live in a place where there are seasons, like out here we have a long ass winter. Like, we always are longing for the summer. We are waiting for it with like open arms and ready. So when that summer gets here, barbecues are a must, outdoor dining is a must, pool parties are a must. That's what we look forward to. So seeing them finally have fun after God knows how many episodes is refreshing. That dinner to me was one of the best dinner that they have this season, to be honest. I mean, the clothing, the dinner, the conversation. I mean, I was laughing my ass off when they asked Paige if she had fought in front of Carl or vice versa, and she said like no, and Kyle is like, yeah, you guys are not ready to move in together. That's like the true couples test. If you haven't farted in front of your partner, that says a lot. Because farts are meant to happen and are a bonding experience. I mean, guys, I want to know. I want to know how long it took you to fart in front of your partner. So leave your comments on my Instagram or my Twitter. You can leave a comment right here or my YouTube channel. I want to know that because that's important. Believe it or not, something so trivial like farting in front of in front of your partner, it shows that you're comfortable with them. It shows that you're not hiding anything at the same time. I know it sounds silly. I know it sounds silly, but if you haven't farted in front of your partner, you shouldn't be living together then. Then they go out to the club, they're having a good time, and then it's Lindsay and Carl in a corner, as usual. And Lindsay and Carl were making out. And I'm not a fan of PDA in public, you guys. Don't be that couple. Just do not. I mean, keep it to yourself. Go to a private place. I don't know. A kiss, a small kiss. Yeah, holding hands. Yeah, dancing sexually at a club. Yeah, we are all having a good time. When you are legit sitting on a couch, like sitting on your lap of your partner and just making out, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. It seems messy. I seen couples doing that at the clubs, and it always give me this like cringy feeling. I'm not judging. I don't care. You can do with your life whatever you want, but it just cringy. It happened to me at the club actually. Um, like a month ago, I was at a club. Actually, funny story. I was at Republic in Charleston, and I was having a great time with my friends. And we were on the VIP area, right? Next to our VIP table, there was another group of friends, but some of them left or went somewhere, I guess, to get a drink. I don't know. At the end, there was just this couple, and they were making out so hard, and I'm looking at them like, gosh, that's not a good look. But the funniest part is, this is where the story gets good. The girl came to me extremely flirtatious, almost like she was like her breath was on my ear, and she was hugging me and stuff. And I'm like, first off, I have not given you permission to do that. Third, you are barking at the wrong tree, girl. Like, back the fuck off. Obviously, I'm a gentleman, so I don't say that to a girl. I mean, I'm gay, but I was raised to be a gentleman. So very politely, I kind of like tried to like twirl her around, and I kind of sent her back to her boyfriend because I was afraid that the boyfriend was gonna think that I was the one flirting with her, and I was gonna get in a physical fight at a club when I'm trying just to have a good time. Then she tried to grab my glass. I'm drinking champagne out of my glass, and she's like, "I want some of that." And she went to grab my glass, and what I did was I grabbed an empty glass that we had on the table, poured a little bit of my champagne, and handed her like, "Here, taste it. Goodbye." I'm not letting a stranger drink out of my glass. No, that's not happening. I mean, COVID might not be a thing anymore, but I still believe that there's germs out there that I don't want to share with a stranger. The next day, though, all the people at the house woke up having a good time, and I'm happy that finally Chris is kind of being initiated with the group of guys. First is Kyle working out with him, then Craig joins. Um, that was fun. Then they go to a vineyard and they start sharing some kind of like sexual, secrets. The one that caught my attention though, the one that was like, okay, she's good, was Sam. Sam shared that one time a guy spit in her mouth and she loved it. And I'm like, I don't know about the spitting, but if that girl loved that, she's my kind of people. She's crazy. She's wild. She's fun. I'm I am legit obsessed with Sam. I think she's one of the kind of like the best additions to the show in the way that she feels organic into the group. She feels like she's been there for a long time. Also, Gabby. Gabby is another one that I love, and I think her drama with Sierra that we kind of see during the episode that it feels like there is no connection. It actually it's part of being in a new group. Finding who you click better, who's the best match to your energy. It seems like Sierra does not like Gabby that much. And it's not like she doesn't like her or maybe she doesn't want her around. I just think the conversations, or there hasn't been a moment where they click in a deeper level, like in the way that maybe Gabby has clicked with Danielle, and with Sam we've seen her having conversation with other people in the house. That hasn't happened with Sierra, and it gets to show, like, once again. I mean, Sierra said it herself on the episode that it takes longer for her to open up and trust people, and that is very valid, because in some level I'm the same way too. Like, I have a very tight group of friends. I'm very open to welcome people into that group of friends, but it takes me a little longer to open up to people when it comes to really deep topics. Like, I'm always like a class clown, or like the guy who wants to be yelling in the club, like, "Hoo-dee-hoo," or something like that. Like, I think I'm a good time kind of guy. Like, you will not get bored hanging out with me. But there is a side of me who's very guarded, like very personal. My family stuff are very personal. Opening up that part of me, it takes um it takes a long time for me to feel comfortable with somebody, to let those thoughts and experiences out and share them with the world. So I can see how Sierra feels uh when she's around Gabby, because it always feels very surface level. You know, at this vineyard, the funniest part though, I don't know if you guys noticed it because that was really quick. There was a really like 1 second clip, but it's Craig, Gabby, and Lindsay. Lindsay and Gabby were in like a little trolley, and Craig is like, being the one pushing the trolley, and then you see the two of them just fell on their asses. And Craig is like, "Are you guys okay?" I was laughing so hard in that moment because they busted their asses real hard. And, and it's just funny. I don't know. I have how weird sense of humor. I think people falling is kind of funny. Not like hurting people, but when it's so like when it seems to be fun, but then you just go wrong. That night, the ladies decide to go on a girls' night out dinner. Lindsay put the idea out there, which I'm happy about. And the guys had a bonding night with Chris. That bonding night reminded me of a frat party where they were initiating the new pledges. Poor Chris was on his fours. They were using a paddle. They were having him taking shots and chugging shot from a bald eagle funnel. It was in good times. I like that because I like that with my friends. I'm always that person who, even though, unlike I'm probably, if you see me, you'd be like, you probably are in your late 20s, early 30s, but I'm actually 39 and I still have the same energy as I had when I was in my 20s when it comes to partying. No, I'm not drinking every single day, but when I'm drinking, you best believe I'm having a good time. So I like to see Kyle and Carl bonding with Chris in that way. Also because I always see people criticizing, Kyle about his drinking, and I'm like, yeah, but the man is not drinking every day of his life. The man is having a good time in the summer. Let him have a good time. It's not affecting anybody, and he always seems to be fun, you know. On the other side of town, we have the girls having a great chat. It seems that everything was going well until once again, Lindsay and Danielle were having an issue. This season, I'm telling you, it was foreshadowing for a long time the downfall of their friendship, and it seems to me that is the typical case when a best friend it's is in a brand new relationship and they want to do everything with their partner, and then they forget that there's moments when your best friend wants to spend time with you. There was I mean, I see both sides on this situation. I see Lindsay's side and I see Danielle's side. I do think Lindsay is sacrificing more than she wants to for Craig. I do think that, and that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that she is, oh, it is awful or whatever. No, this is her decision, her choice, and that's what she feels like she needs to do for her partner's sobriety. But I do think deep inside she wishes she could be out there a little more, especially in this Montauk situation. In the previous episode, Danielle, Sam, and Gabby went to a party in Montauk. And Danielle really wanted Lindsay to go. Lindsay didn't go because Carl didn't want to go. And that kind of hurt Danielle's feelings. So, when Lindsay said at that table there was no reason for her to go to Montauk without Carl, as a friend, that hurts. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I don't know about you, but if my best friend can't see me as a reason to go, I will feel really offended. I will feel like, so why do you want to be my friend if you don't want to hang out with me when we have the opportunity to? Because obviously they had time in between of not hanging out because Danielle has a boyfriend too, or Lindsay has the relationship. So they had their own lives outside the show and outside the summer. They live in the city, they're always busy. So it seems like this show is the perfect opportunity for them to hang out together. So yes, Lindsay have the right to choose where she wants to go and all this stuff. But if she really wanted to go, and the only reason why she didn't go was because Carl didn't want to go, then that is a problem. Because that codependency is not healthy in the first place. And second, you want to spend time with your friends. And even though she said at the dinner, and it's right, she's right. She said, Lindsay said that was her idea to do the girls' night out, to spend time with them. And once again, they have to bring that up. The whole Lindsay and Carl relationship. Yeah, but I think Danielle has the right to express herself and how she felt. You know what I'm saying? It's also part of the reality TV show. I mean, those are the moments when you have these conversations. It's just sad for me to see that a friendship that seems to be very strong in the past just fell apart for not caring for a friendship. Though a friendship is like a plant. If you don't water the plant, it dies. Same happen with a friendship. And maybe I'm also the type of friend that you don't have to see me every day. You don't have to see me every day to feel like we have a friendship. I have friends that I haven't seen like in a year or two, and then when we get together, it's like time didn't go by. But we always check on each other, and when we have this opportunity to hang out, we truly hang out because we don't see each other all the time. So I can see how Danielle feels like. I understand that feeling. And some people are saying that Danielle is being, selfish and blah blah blah. But is it truly the case? Or is it the case of a friend who's just hurting that her own friend is not valuing the importance of spending time together? That's just my opinion. And that's it for Summer House. That was quite the episode, you guys. I do like Summer House for a reason. They they are a group of friends. So the dramatics and the pettiness and all the stuff that happened between them are easily fixable, or are stuff that you go through with a friend, you know, so you can easily relate to that. Like, as we just see, like, I can relate to a lot of stuff that happened on that show, and I can talk to you like, yeah, I can share this experience because I also went through it. You know, a lot of the stuff that happened on other shows like Housewives, I cannot relate that much. I cannot put my own life experience into the conversation because A, I'm not a woman, B, I'm not a housewife. Um, so it's I appreciate Summer House and like shows like Southern Hospitality, Vanderpump Rules, and Family Karma because there's a lot of pieces in those shows that you can see yourself in it. You know what I'm saying? Talking about Ultimate Girls Trip, I mean Housewife. Let's go to Ultimate Girls Trip in Thailand. I love this cast. I hate to admit it because I was not very sold when he was announced. I was just excited to see Candace and Whitney Rose back on my TV. I was excited to see Marisol and Alexa because I loved them, but I was afraid that the cast was not going to give much. I didn't know how the drama was going to happen. I mean, a lot of these ladies didn't even know each other before this show. You know what I'm saying? There was no connection. Um, there was not true. I don't know. It was kind of random. That's what I'm trying to say. The cast seemed random to me, but surprisingly, it's given a lot. And we're just gonna be talking about season. I mean, the episode 2 of the season 3, which is the Elephant Sanctuary episode. They they went to an elephant sanctuary, and it was half of the conversation was about how they shouldn't touch the elephant, but once again they don't listen because when they were telling them not to run away from the elephant because it can, you know, make the elephant feel nervous and react to it, they were running like crazy. What I think is really funny though, I think it's really funny how there are topics of conversation that I wasn't even expecting it to be on this episode or on a franchise for that matters. Like when they were on the little bus van thingy and Portia, Whitney, and uh, Heather and Giselle, when they were heading towards the elephant sanctuary, they started talking about Kamala Harris. And I'm like, what does Kamala Harris have to do with any of this? And then Portia said, ask what's Kamala's mix. And Giselle did not know. Giselle was like, I don't know. And then Heather was like, she's Indian and black. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't get what's the point of this conversation. And then they jumped into a DNA test topic, which means that the cousins conversation was coming up. Portia revealed that she's Nigerian, and then we know that the way that Heather and Whitney realized they were cousins was through this DNA test. Crazy. I'm like, that's such a great way to bond. Like talking about DNA test. Leah though. Let's talk about Leah because Leah is she's the one that I'm very confused by from the beginning. From the beginning, I felt like Leah was a random choice, um, and I'm still trying to figure out why she was even invited. She is kind of. Do you guys remember how Vicky was on season 2 of Ultimate Girls Trip? That she was kind of like a downer for everything, and like everything felt like negative around that person, and everybody was trying to have a good time, and she will always make a Debbie Downer comment kind of stuff. That's how I feel about Leah, and I'm like, and Leah kept blaming to P. What's it called? What's it called? I'm sorry, guys. Um PMS. I don't. I'm not a woman. I don't understand the menstrual things. I don't understand that. I'm not trying to understand that because uh it sounds, yeah. I don't know. Sounds I don't want to know about it. But yeah, she keep blaming on the PMS, and I'm thinking like is it really though? Is it really for the PMS, or is it because like you're just not a fun person to have around? You know, um, the way that she always talks about the other ladies, it doesn't seem to me like she wants to even be there. From the beginning, on the first episode, she was complaining about the room and saying that maybe Pepsi didn't like her. Well, now guess what? I think maybe you're not that fun to have around. Maybe you're just not fun. Like chill, Leah, just freaking chill. Like when she went to the elephant too, all she was saying was like she was not scared of the elephants, she was scared of the ladies and blah blah blah. I don't know. I still don't think that Leah was a good choice for this trip. Or maybe it was. If you think about it, I don't think you want a cast of all fun, shady, petty girls. You just want somebody who is like a Debbie Downer. And that's right. Erin just sent a message here to the live chat and she said Leah was the fill-in for Tinsley. It shows why she wasn't the first pick, and that's correct. That's 100% correct. And I'm so sad that Tinsley wasn't there because Tinsley actually makes sense with this group of women. It makes way more sense. I love Tinsley. I know that she's one of those kind of housewives that you like or you just don't like. I like Tinsley even before Housewives. Um, I always remember her fashion, blogs and how she was involved in the New York City society. She's been on Gossip Girl and all this stuff. So I love Tinsley. She's the type of girl that I like. Um, but yeah, that was definitely interesting. Good call, Aaron. Good call. Because I was thinking to myself all day. I was watching the episode and I'm like, Leah truly does not fit in. And every time that she says something, she's annoyed by somebody. Like at the end of the episode, we see that she is annoyed with Alexia telling the story about, you know, her second husband dying and the whole drama of him being with a male lover and whatever. And she pissed off the wrong person. You just do not want to piss off Cuban Barbie. You do not want to make her upset because she's gonna read you. And she was going at it so hard. Things was like, yeah, I just said you were, whatever. And Marisol was like, no, 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 no. You just said that you were bored. Like, let's make it clear. That was definitely one of my like funny moments. And then things like, yeah, that's why you're upset, Marisol, because you've been drinking with your stomach pain and whatever. You drink every morning. And I'm like, yeah, so what? Like, mind your own business. You're boring, Leah. I wanted to give her the chance. And I'm only on episode 2 because I'm watching one episode a day. I told you guys, there's not that much Bravo housewife material right now because pretty much everything is filming or just finished. So my excitement right now, it's waiting for OC trailer, waiting for Atlanta that is coming to, waiting for more news from Beverly Hills. Which, by the way, stick around because I have cast news. Stick around. But yeah, Ultima's Girls Trip is basically what we have beside New Jersey. Um, and I like the vibe of the Ultima's Girls Trip show. I like how this lady just sit down and talk about the most random stuff. One of the stuff that I really appreciated on this episode in particular is when they were talking about the best and worst part of being on these franchises. There was a moment that I was very moved, and it was when it was when Marisol was talking about Mama Elsa as the reason why she kind of enjoyed being part of this world, because she felt like her mom got to live her best life on the show, how she was very excited to be part of this world, and how people reacted to her. And like she said, like, my mom was a beautiful woman and she wanted to stay beautiful, but she couldn't get anesthesia, and then she started getting fillers and her face got deformed over the years. So she was afraid how people will react to that, and happily, I mean, Mama Elsa will always be remembered as an icon of Miami. She's truly a great part of the history of Housewives too. So I can see how people will always remember Mama Elsa, and it's not because the way that she looked, but all the amazing, crazy stuff that she said. I mean, she had no filter, and she made the show. It kind of became that kind of like funny person. And to be honest, I mean, Marisol has a lot of the Mama Elsa in her. Like, her confessionals are just outrageous sometimes. But some people said, "Oh, it's because she's drunk, or she's going too far." But in some level, I think Marisol has that comedic relief to a lot of the drama on the show. So I was very happy to see her sharing that part. Another part that I think she was spot on was when she said that they were lucky that they are being paid for people to hear the shit that they have to say, the shit that come out of their mouth. That is crazy. The fact that we are talking about it right now is a true testament of why Housewives changed the landmark of TV. I mean, yes, a lot of people said this is dumb television. Like, I don't know why people are so invested in these women's lives and blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, I always um am shocked and very happy at the same time for how we as a community talk about these shows and feel about these ladies and feel like we know them in some level. um Marisol was very spot on. They are blessed that they get paid for us viewers watch their watch them say whatever they say, and we are like eating it up. Literally, I'm just one of hundreds and hundreds of podcasters out there making Bravo TV content. I'm one of just many, many, many people who sit down, watch the show, dissect you know, the drama and bring it to you guys and have conversation about it. Have conversations that are funny, have conversations that are serious, have conversations that are very deep. Um, we talk about luxury and wealth and how crazy these people are and how disconnected with reality they are. And then we also talk about topics like racism, homophobia, colorism. So it's part of the beauty of Housewife, and in that statement that Marisol made me realize that yeah, they they are blessed that they are getting paid, but they also, from my perspective, change how TV is watched completely. Another part that I was, I mean, I don't know if this is even, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say I was maybe because my mind is very American in some ways, or a lot of like I mean, I'm from the West, like Western culture. That's what we are, Western culture, like European and American. When they were talking about Ladyboy, there was a side of me. I was like, oh my gosh, should I talk about this topic on my podcast? Am I gonna get canceled if I say Ladyboy on my podcast? So I decided to Google and make sure that it was okay. So, because that's what people do, Google. So I found out that the word ladyboy. I mean, I'm just saying this because um, I wanted to make sure that I was not going to offend anybody. And if this word offend you or is inappropriate, please let me know. I'm a very open book, and I'm always open to learn new things. And especially, I'm open to hear people's feelings. I don't want to offend people when it comes to something serious. If you get offended by a silly joke that it has nothing to do with being politically correct, it's just some whatever. That's a different story. But if it's something that is rooted in something that causes pain, like homophobia, racism, colorism, please let me know. Or like something that attack women's you know body autonomies or anything like that, please let me know. I'm open to learn. But I googled, and the word ladyboy is the way that people in Thailand refers to trans people, but they accept that word. It's part of their culture, and it's not offensive to them. I did read that it's offensive in the United States, or some people feel like it's a word that is offensive in within our culture, in the Western culture. So I was watching the episode and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is okay. One thing that I was confused by though, it seems like they thought that Ladyboy was a drag queen because they gave each other like drag queens names. So I was confused because I don't know if that was a misunderstanding on the show or that's exactly what it is, and I just don't know properly. My understanding of Ladyboy in Thailand, it's transgender or hermaphrodite, which means that it looks like a lady but it has a boy's part. Because we gotta be clear, we need to understand that drag queens are not transgender. Drag queens are artists that perform in drag. A transgender person is somebody who transition, and basing on my understanding of the concept of ladyboy, and please correct me if I'm wrong. This is the part that I wanted to talk about on this episode because I'm still confused by it, and I'm still gonna do my own research. I'm not gonna sit down and just wait for people to find it for me. I'm gonna do my research. But I was confused by the fact that they talk about ladyboys as drag queens. So maybe I'm missing a part right there, or maybe I just didn't fully get the definition because when I looked for it on Google, The way that I explain it is the lady boys have the look of a lady with a boy's part. So if you know anything more, if you know, please let me know. You can go on my comments. You can leave it on YouTube. You can go on my Instagram. You can go on my Twitter. Like I said before, I'm not trying to get canceled here by me speaking in an uneducated way. So that's why I was confused. On the other hand, though, the I mean the nicknames or the name that Candice gave to the girls were really freaking hysterical. But the one that really got me laughing out loud, rolling on the floor, was when in her confessional said that Giselle's name should be Anita Stylist because girl, she needs a stylist. She definitely needs a stylist. But I must say that maybe Giselle saw that because on the latest Watch What Happened Live on Sunday when she went with Portia, she actually looked the best she had looked ever. Still basic. People were saying that, oh my gosh, Giselle looks so good, blah blah blah. But I was like, this is because we have a very low bar for Giselle when it comes to fashion, because that look was not that like impressive. It was not like she wasn't eating anything. She just dressed appropriately for the case for what she was doing. But just because she dressed appropriately with a better outfit doesn't mean that she was being like a fashion girl, you know. Um, so that's why like Giselle has such a low bar in fashion that anything that make her look a little better that she had looked before, people are gonna eat it, and that's how I felt. So that name that Candice gave her was hysterical, Anita Stylist. And then Candice was not playing. Candice was not playing with Portia because when they were sitting at the table and Candice brought up the rumors about Portia stealing a man, I'm like, ooh, ooh, this is gonna be good. And editors don't play either because the editors have the footage ready of when Portia met her now husband, and he was with his wife. But then on the show, we found out that the wife, I mean, we knew this too. I mean, it's been out there. But the way that they put it is like, this woman cheated on him and she got pregnant and he was done and all this stuff. But it seems like there's a lot of contradiction in the story because Portia said that he was already divorced, but then she said like they were in the process of getting divorced. And I always said it before, you guys, do not get in a serious relationship with somebody if the ink is not dry on the divorce papers. If you can still like go with your finger and it gets wet, no, 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 no. Tape to step back and wait it out because you never know. You never know. Because look what happened to Portia. She was called a homewrecker for a long time on social media, even though I mean she doesn't care. But it's kinda crazy that a lot of people, you know, stop being her fan for that reason. But I still believe that who knows, maybe there's more to the story. There's more to the story. Talking about more to the story, let's talk about Beverly Hills for just for a little bit because you guys know that there's nothing more exciting to me than talking about the ladies of the 90210. They are filming right now, and we had seen many faces filming with them. We saw over the weekend that not only Denise Richards, oh, I'm so excited. Yes, you guys can hate all you want about Denise, but I love me Denise on the show. I don't care. I don't care if she flopped on her last season. It was not her fault. You guys don't know the whole story. I kind of do. So a lot of people were like, "Oh, she didn't share enough." Well, guess what? She was through a custody battle, and everybody was in it to try to avoid that conversation. But as usual, we have some people trying to, you know, trying to play the game and push her out. That's what truly happened. Everybody was in to avoid that conversation. They knew code words like "I'm working" as I was in court fighting for my child, for my children. And still we had some, producers on within the cast trying to, to play production, and that's how they got her out of the show. But I'm happy that she's back. I'm happy that the fact that the other lady left the show and more people are willing to film with the cast. We saw Denise, we saw Camille, the Camille Grammer joining that dinner. And let me remind you guys, we see these people coming on the show as guests. That's the point of these people. They are not cast members, they are not friend of, they are guests. And people keep saying that they need to bring these people to steer the pot on the show or to bring drama to the show. And because this other lady left, they need to bring somebody to stir the pot. I'm like, no, 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 no. Let me rewind a couple of seasons and explain to you how this has been done pretty much on every season except for the COVID season. Pretty much. We had Taylor Armstrong at Lisa Vanderpump's tea party as a guest with Camille. I'm trying to think. She was wearing this huge hat, if I'm not wrong, and Taylor was the one who asked out loud about Munchausen during that tea party. That she heard something or whatever. She was not needed to stir the pot on that season because that conversation was being had regardless. But we were all excited to have Taylor back for that scene. Also, during the white party, Kyle had Adrienne, and we were all excited to have her back just for a conversation, just for whatever. We do not know the conversations. Stop making shit up for clickbait because that is embarrassing. Because then when you failed on creating some, drama for people to like follow you and then you fail, you look like a loser. And that's why I tell people, wait until the show airs. A lot of this stuff that we see on Twitter are made out of thin air for people to click on them or follow them or retweet. And I read the stuff and I'm like, what? Where they get this eye from? Like, come on! Like, at least try a little harder because a true fan of the show or somebody who pays attention can easily notice that this is not because Lisa, that lady left the show. This is because it has happened before, and fans were asking for it. Remember when they announced the person left the show, and we were all excited because we still are. Nobody's talking about her but the people who want her back. Nobody is talking about her. The only reason why I said that person right now is because we need to straighten things up right now. Nobody's talking about her. And because nobody's talking about her, people are saying, people who like her or are fans or whatever, like, oh, the show is flopping. Ugh. I'm like, yeah, because you are filming the show, because you are a producer behind the scenes or whatever. No, the show is not flopping. The show changes dynamics, and that is completely normal for a show to do. Remember, when the whole Denise situation with Brandy happened, Brandy wasn't a cast member or a friend of. Brandy was a guest brought in by Kim Richards, who was also a guest on that episode, who also happened to be invited by Kyle and John Mellencamp's daughter to talk in that scene. So this is nothing new. This is nothing new. It's not like groundbreaking. I'm so excited that Kim Richard is also filming with Kyle. It was long overdue, and I hope that we finally get Kyle, Kathy, and Kim in one scene because that needs to be done. And I hope they both open up to Kyle and tell her how they feel and how Kyle has been for so many years. Because people like to protect Kyle, especially the fans. But I feel like Kyle is a little bit like Melissa that gets away just by being, pretty. She gets away with things because she's pretty and pretends to be nice, but she hasn't been that nice if you pay attention. She just she just knows how to smile through the pettiness, just like Melissa. Oh, that's my opinion. I mean, and yeah, you can like them. You can like them. That's the whole point. The whole point is that some people are gonna like some housewives, some people are not gonna like the same housewife. We're gonna fight over this, and that's completely fine. That's the whole point of this show. But there's stuff that are pretty obvious when there's an argument over a housewife. And we cannot pretend that Kyle hasn't been um, a little bit of a mean girl sometimes and use some people's stuff for her benefit. Season one finale outed when she outed Kim's you know substance usage and problem and abuse. That was to me what one of the moments that I still remember 13 years later as like that's some shitty ass shit to do to your own family. If you are like, I'm all about family, I'm all about this. I'm like, no, you knew exactly what you were doing when the cameras were rolling and you broke your own sister on national TV. But that's a conversation for a different day. My point here is I'm excited to finally see familiar faces back, even if it's just for one scene. I'm happy that it's not John Mellencamp's daughter because she was in it before and she flopped so hard at that Christmas party. She thought that was gonna be her opportunity to get back on the show. Well, it was not. It was a big flop. So this time we have Denise, we have Camille, we have Cynthia, She was a guest also for that dinner because she was Sutton's plus one. We also gonna see maybe Larsa popping on the screen at Garcelle's event. They were also filmed. We saw King Richards with Dorit and Kyle this weekend. I I'm praying to the highest force of Bravo to please bring Lisa Vanderpump for one episode. Even if it's just for one episode, I want to see her drag everybody on that show, except Garcelle and Son, obviously. But I would love to see her going head to head with Kyle, Dorit, and Erica for all the shit that they've been talking about her all these years. And then people get mad at Lisa Vanderpump when she was on Watch What Happened Live after many years, and she was not going on any TV show talking about it. Yet they spent hours. You can find it online if you think I'm lying. They spent so many years, Kyle, Dorit, and the other ones, and the one that left, talking about Vanderpump every chance they had on their shows, on either on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, on Watching What Happened Live, on their appearances. It's true. Their videos. It was filmed. I'm not lying, but that's the truth. And the one chance that Lisa Vanderpump had to defend herself was that Watching What Happened Live, because unlike the other ones, she doesn't spend time on her own show, Vanderpump Rules, talking about them, because you know what? She had better things to do with her life, like opening restaurants and having a grandson and having one of the most successful spin-off of on Bravo and having one of the highest rating seasons this season. So she's busy. Vanderpump is busy, but I would love for her to make an appearance on the show. I think it will be the cherry on top of an ice cream that I'm excited to dive in when the show airs later on this year. And yeah, guys, that is a long list of guest appearances. There hasn't been any change uh, on the main cast so far. We know that everybody except um, two cast members that left are back. We have Erica, we have Sutton, we have Crystal, we have Garcelle, we have Kyle, and we have Dorit. They all back full time. That's all we know so far. There's no newbie announced. There seems to be no newbie at all. They say that they might be a friend of involved, but I haven't seen any hints. It seems to me that this season is going to be a lot of guests from the Housewives. Like, if I'm not wrong, Dorit had a friend in Vegas, I think, because she was posting with her. I think she was going to an event or something. Also, we know the Sutton also invited uh, Jennifer Tilly in one episode. So we're gonna be seeing many famous faces coming in and out for whatever. And to me, that's just more exciting because it seems more organic. It should be how franchises work. Because people tend to forget that even though some cast members are not part of the show, they still friends or at least in the same circles as the housewife on the show. So ignoring that part seems to me way too produce and contrive. So seeing some all housewife popping in and out once in a while, to me that is amazing. It make me feel like they have true organic friendships. And that's what I want on a reality TV show. And if that's what you want on your reality TV show, let me know. You can easily find me on martinizwitheddie.com, or you can go on my Twitter account or Instagram for extra tea at Martinez with Eddie. Also, please, 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 if you enjoy this podcast, please rate the podcast, subscribe, because that's what helps us podcasters to survive and thrive. It's the love that you show us on our ratings and in your comments. And please share this with your friends. If you know somebody who loves Bravo and want a little extra tea, who might enjoy or hate my commentary or my opinions, just share this with them. Well, I welcome everybody to here. I welcome everybody. So please go subscribe to my podcast, subscribe to my YouTube channel. More guests, more episodes, a lot of tea, a lot of martinis to come. Thank you so much to everybody who joined me tonight. Everybody here, I see your comments. I'm always reading them. You guys make me laugh. I love you guys, all of you guys. And like I always say, 1, 2, 3, guys, say it with me. Bye, besties.